Hey guys, welcome to another fantasy video, and yeah, hopefully your team went a lot better than my team did in round 3. It was an absolute train wreck of a round for myself. I scored 1976, so didn't even hit the 2000 mark this week, which was very disappointing, and yeah, my ranking slid from around 10,000 to 22,000, so just an absolute disaster. It kind of all started on Friday evening when Charlie Constable wasn't named for the Suns, and then we had the Luke Davies-Uniacke laid out in the warm-up on Saturday afternoon, 5 minutes before the bounce. So just uh, a lot didn't go my way this week, and also some poor scores from some premiums that I thought would do a lot better. So yeah, just all that combined just resulted in an absolute train wreck of a round for myself. So yeah, as I mentioned, hopefully a lot of other people out there did a lot better than my team did. So now I'll do a quick review of my team, starting in defence. Sicily, he was great again. He's been one of my really good picks to start off the year. Sicily, just getting heaps of ball, heaps of plus sixes. He took 18 marks, believe it or not, for the Hawks. So that's just perfect for fantasy, and yeah, absolutely love owning him. Brayshaw, he's been disappointing. 74, just hasn't been the pick I thought he would be. Brayshaw, and he's really kind of setting my team back. Obviously, I don't have Sam Doherty there. That was a big risk not to start with Doherty, and yeah, having Brayshaw there is really hurting my team at the moment. So ideally, I'd love to trade him, but I think we just have to stick with him and fix up all those rookies and failed mid prices first, unfortunately. And then Nick Dacos, I brought in Dacos this week. Obviously, Charlie Constable out threw out my original trade plans, and so I had to kind of fill that spot there. So I ended up paying up a little bit for Dacos, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. He was good, 100 in wet conditions on Friday night. So very happy Nick Dacos owner now. Then we have Andy McGrath, 79. Just It just can't seem to kind of get it out of those 70 to 80 type scores at the moment. So that's very frustrating. And he's one that I'll probably look to move on the next couple of weeks. Is just kind of, yeah, setting my team back there, kind of a nothing sort of player at the moment in fantasy. And the rookies, Jinby and Wilmot. Jinby was great again, earned the Rising Star nomination this week. He's a very good player for the Eagles. And Darcy Wilmot, he played a pretty good game on Thursday night, I think it was. Hopefully the Lions start using him in the midfield a little bit more. I think that would really suit him. He's a very tough player, so yeah, he's going well enough. He'll earn some more cash going forward. Then the bench, Cowan and Bergman, they're kind of scoring 40s and 50s, so they're going to be a slow burn there, not making too much cash, unfortunately. Moving on to the midfield now. Tim Taranto, had him as captain once again on Friday night. He was pretty good. He's very consistent. So at the moment, in kind of a weak sort of midfield and forward line, obviously I could have him in the forward line as well, but yeah, don't really have a safe captain pick at the moment. So Tim Taranto is my go-to guy at this stage. And then Bont on Thursday night, 94, which, look, he played a great game. He actually got 10 coaches' votes. He was absolute star in that game, but 70-point first half and then kind of a 20-point second half. That's just how he's been going at the moment. Very frustrating. Just can't seem to put 4 quarters of real fantasy scoring together. So frustrated with the pick, but kind of just got to stick it out with him, I think, unfortunately. And they obviously have Davies-Uniacke that laid out on Saturday afternoon, which yeah just caught everyone off guard, I think. And hopefully he's all right to go next week with that calf tightness. It was said to be. So hopefully he gets up this week, as that would really throw a big spanner in the works if he was to miss. Then Warple and Callahan, the mid prices, they were very disappointing this week. 57 Warple and Callahan 48. So this looks like the week that most people will look to move these guys on. I think they're not going to make much more cash now, so they kind of done their job. Callahan hasn't been a great pick, really stuck on a wing. A bit injury prone as well, doesn't really tackle with that sore shoulder at the moment, so he hasn't been a great pick. Warple, he was good to start with, I guess, but yeah, the time has come to sort of move him on now. Then the rookies, McKenzie and Ashcroft, they were great again. Very nice players playing that inside mid role, so they'll continue to make a lot of cash for us moving forward. Errol Gordon, a little bit disappointing this week, 71. But I guess we'll have to take that from him. Kind of hasn't quite delivered on the enormous hype he showed in the preseason, but he's doing enough, I guess. Then to the bench, Hollins. He was actually in my field this week in place of LDU. 56 from him, I guess I have to take that. he's going alright. He's a very nice player. And then Charlie Constable ended up holding him just because I needed to trade out Tanner Bruhn over him in the end, just because of that high break even that Tanner Bruhn had. So hopefully Constable gets back in. I doubt it though. The Suns had a very nice win on the weekend, so I'll have to look to move him on this week, I think. To the rucks now, Witt's 81, solid enough you could say, but I think the most frustrating thing I've found with owning Wits at the moment is just we're kind of missing out on 30 odd points by not having a guy like Tim English there. Tim English is getting 110 each week consistently, where Wits is good occasionally. He can pump out a big score like we saw in round one, but he's kind of just that 80 to 90 sort of guy. So I think at some point during the season I'll have to look to make that switch to Tim English there. And then Rowan Marshall, he is pretty solid. He's been good so far. To the forward line now, Josh Dunkley, 116. Should have put the VC on him on Thursday night. I ended up going Bont just to try and be a little bit unique. But yeah, he looked back to his best playing against his old side. So he should be a good captaincy option moving forward. And then Connor Rosie, he was great in the showdown. Real big game player, Connor Rosie. So it was good to see him pump out his first ton of the season. Then we've got Pedler there. He was okay. Had to kind of field him this week. Kind of a flow-on effect from all the carnage with Constable and Davies Uniacke. But he was pretty good. He played a great game, but he's going to miss this week, unfortunately. Got suspended for a dangerous tackle, which he was very stiff, I thought. So the Crows are not challenging it, which is disappointing. So he'll miss this week, unfortunately. Then Zeeble, I brought him in this week. Downgraded Bailey Smith to him to make a little bit of cash. So he ended up scoring more than Smith. So I guess you could say it's successful, but would have liked a little bit more from him on debut. But he'll get defender status in a couple of weeks. So I'm still happy with the pick. Then Harry Sheezel, he's done it again. His third straight ton, 109, and he's now 577k. So he's just making money at an absolute insane rate. And he's going to be arguably a top 6 forward or defender if he keeps going like this. There's no sort of reason to see that he'll slow down. So look, he'll get to 800k, 750k at some point. So I kind of classify him as a premium instead of a rookie right now, Harry Sheezel. And then Cage Sandler to round out my forward line. He was very good, kicked 3 goals. So he looks like he'll keep his spot in that D's forward line. So he should be someone that we keep in our sides the next couple of weeks before we look to cash him in. And then to the bench, Filippo and Davey, they're kind of scoring 40s and 50s, playing as that small forwards at the moment. So yeah, just a slow burn there, not making too much cash, unfortunately. And then Campbell Chester in the utility spot, he actually got injured towards the back end of that game. So it looks like he'll miss a couple of weeks. So that's unfortunate there. So as for the trades that I'm looking to make this week, heading into round 4, what I'm looking to do is kind of move on some of those failed mid-prices this week in Constable and Callaghan. I think that'll be popular with most people looking to move on those guys, Warple, Sheed, those sort of guys this week. I think it's time to move on. So what I look to do is downgrade Charlie Constable this week to Jacob Van Rooyen from the D's, who kicked 3 goals on debut. He was very impressive, and I think he'll be a very popular downgrade target this week. And yeah, with the cash that I make there, as well as 225k that I already have in the bank, I look to upgrade Finn Callaghan to a kind of premium midfielder this week. At this stage, I've landed on Lachie Neale. That's kind of up in the air. I think, unfortunately, I can't really afford some of the big dogs like Rory Laird or Clayton Oliver by doing that move. So at this stage, I've landed on Lachie Neale just as kind of the safest sort of option there. He's had a slow start to the season, but turned up on the weekend, so he should be nearing his best soon, I think, Lachie Neale. So at this stage, I've landed on him. The other options that I could have a look at is trading James Warple instead of Callaghan, and that would allow me to get someone like Rory Laird in, or even Sam Doherty in defence, who I still don't own, unfortunately, and he's really hurt me not owning him so far. So I could look to trade out Warple, bring in a guy like Laird or Doherty in defence. That would really strengthen the team up. But I think Finn Callaghan's more of a priority, I think, just because he's wing role to move on at this stage. In terms of some general trade targets, I think I listed them here, and Tom Stewart and Will Day. Will Day's been the big one that unfortunately I missed out on not starting with him, and I think everyone that owns Will Day is probably high up in the rankings, so well done to you all who started with him. I definitely didn't expect this kind of output from him. I thought he was kind of a 75 to 80 guy, but He's really exceeded my expectations. So not sure whether we've kind of missed the boat on him to bring him in, but I guess he's still valued with how he's performing. And then Tom Stewart's the other one. Kind of came back really quickly from that knee injury on the weekend. And he scored 120 odd, so 757k is absolute bargain for him. So if you're looking for a kind of cheap option in defence, wouldn't look past Tom Stewart at all. He's got a nice fixture coming up. He's got the Hawks, Eagles, and then a couple of games in Geelong, which is a ground that he absolutely loves. So he's going to be a great pick moving forward. But I think for this week, for me, the priority is to strengthen up that midfield, bring in an extra premium there, because that's kind of been the line that's kind of really hurting me at the moment, very thin. So that's what I'm looking to do with my trades this week. So yeah, that's all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next week.